enrich the lives of our students. Please join me in welcoming the CTA upper school staff. Please welcome Columbus Torah Academy's 12th grade graduating class of 2011, 5711. Please rise and join Cantor Baruch Schiffman, Chazan Emeritus of Agudas Achim Synagogue, in the singing of the Star Spangled Banner and Hatikva, accompanied by our pianist today, Sarah Beth Kahn. I would like to now call upon Rabbi Michael Unger, Congregational Rabbi of Tiferet Israel and father of 12th grade graduate Rami, for a reading from Tehillim, the Book of Psalms.
Psalm 126. Shir HaMa'alot, Yeshuv Adonai et Shivat Zion. Hayinu kecholmin. Az yimale schok pinu u'shonenu rina. Az yomru vagoyim hidil Adonai la'asot imele. Hidil Adonai la'asot imanu hayinu semechim. Shuva Adonai et shevitenu ka'afikim ba'negev. Hazorim b'tima berina yiktsoru. Haloch yelech uvacho nosei meshech hazara bo yavo verina nosei halumotav. A song of ascents. When the Lord restores the fortunes of Zion, we see it as in a dream. Our mouths shall be filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then they shall say among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. The Lord will do great things for us, and we shall rejoice. Restore our fortunes, O Lord, like watercourses in the Negev. They who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy. Though he goes along weeping, carrying a seed bag, he shall come back with songs of joy, carrying his sheaves.
It is a rare distinction that we have two fathers in a graduating class who are community rabbis. With pleasure, I now call upon Rabbi Mitch Levine, rabbi and educator in residence at Congregation of Agudat Achim, and father of 12th grade graduate Elon, to deliver a Dvar Torah.
I am honored to have been invited to speak at this year's Columbus Torah Academy high school graduation, but the task of delivering a farewell message is particularly challenging. Allow me to explain why. Judaism has much to say regarding the proper procedures for issuing a greeting. For example, there are brachot upon seeing a friend after a lapse of time. There are brachot for greeting scholars, kings, and so forth. Because we are admonished to greet one another with alacrity, we reply to the greeting Shalom Aleichem by reversing the order, Aleichem Shalom, thus acknowledging to our companion that he or she succeeded in initiating the greeting. Despite all this about greeting one another, I have been unable to find instructions from our tradition about how to bid farewell. It seems, therefore, that saying goodbye is problematic. Why might this be the case? Perhaps the answer lies in our deep and abiding commitment to learning. If we are so devoted to learning that we add a learning component to virtually all of our social encounters, saying goodbye would constitute a goodbye to the learning, which would be unacceptable. Instead, better to part ways with a word of Torah. That's kind of an intriguing concept, isn't it? It might be us or to graduate. You found a school, you should continue learning. The Gemara of Avodah Zarah 19a relates a story that may serve to guide a student in his or her departure from school. The Gemara posits that there are two types of students, analogous to two types of plants. One plant is rooted by a single stream of water, whereas the other is only temporarily planted on those banks so that it may be relocated to another stream. The Gemara says that only students who, like the temporary plant, have the mobility to learn from more than one rabbi will see blessings in their studies. According to this Gemara, Rav Chisda said to his students, I have something that I want to tell you, but I am afraid that you will leave me and go elsewhere. Anyone who learns from only one rabbi never sees a sign of blessing in his studies. At that point, his students left him. They went to study before Rabbah. We may conclude from this Gemara that if it is permitted to depart from school, it must be in order to garner the blessings that come from learning from new teachers with additional perspectives. Graduates, allow me to conclude with a word to your parents. Parents, we have all made considerable sacrifice to provide for our children to receive the wonderful education that Columbus Torah Academy has given them. Over the years, while observing my son Elon's experience in day school, I have been, from time to time, reminded of a passage in the Second Kedusha. Rav Acha Bar Yaakov sent his son to study under Abaye. The boy proved not to be so successful in his studies. So his father said, I can learn better than you. You stay home, I will go to school. That's a hoot, right, Rabbi Boy and you? What if Elon stayed home and I came? and learned in his stead. You stay home, I will go to school. I guess tuition was pretty high in ancient Babylonia also. Who can blame Rav Acha for being anxious that he was getting his money's worth? Rabbi Khan, CTA faculty and staff, lay leaders, volunteers, I think I can speak for all the parents of this year's graduating class when I tell you that Rav Acha's dilemma could have been wholly avoided had he had the opportunity to send his son to CTA. Columbus Torah Academy has proven to be a stellar educational experience for these graduates. I know some of them hang out at my house. I overhear them. They're all amazing. I cannot have imagined a better school for my son. Columbus is blessed to have a Jewish high school of the caliber of CTA, and our children have been blessed to have received the education offered by its talented, devoted, caring faculty. On behalf of all of us, thank you. Thank you very much. To the graduates, congratulations and mazal tov. May this departure from your hard work and accomplished years of learning at CTA inspire you to continue your growth and learning in all the many places and schools that you have chosen. And may your future learning experiences prove as wonderful as your years at Columbus Torah Academy. Thank you very much.
Dr. Dan Chase, our newly elected president of the board, will now offer greetings.
It's a pleasure for me to be here today as we celebrate our school and the accomplishments of our graduates. I can tell you on a personal note, it's been a pleasurable week for me. Surprisingly, my first week of president, it's turned out at the end of the week to be a wonderful week. It's a week that's had positivity, it's had transition, it's had promise. Kind of like what we see today with these graduates. It's totally appropriate for graduation to occur in a week with positivity, transition, and promise for the school. I'm very proud of the graduates, and I remember them personally. I would tell you that these are really our best ambassadors for the future of the school. I mean, to inspire the community, to help the school grow, to support the school. These are the future leaders of Jewish communities throughout the world, and hopefully in Columbus they'll come back. And if there's any indication looking at the prior generation, these could be the future leaders and heads of boards of CTA in the future. I wish all the graduates here great success as they enter the most exciting years of their lives. Thank you.
The chief highlight of our 12th grade graduation is hearing reflections from the graduates themselves. Their presentation, "We Are Diverse, We Are One," will begin with the salutatorian address by Tal Benatar and conclude with the valedictory address by Aaron Portman. I now proudly present the class of 2011.
So last month I'm on Facebook, and I see a friend request from somebody I've never met before. I see that we're going to college together next year, so I hit confirm. The next day I see the little chat bubble pop up, and it's this new friend from yesterday whom I've never physically met before. He asks my origins. I hesitate for a moment. From this peculiar question, I realize I'm talking to someone of a different background, from a different country, and to someone who had probably never met a Jew. Should I reveal my ethnicity? In the world today, we find many sudden and unexpected moments when we are forced with the question, who am I? I considered the question. I'm American. I'm a musician. I'm an athlete. I'm Israeli. I'm a Jew. As I was conversing with my future classmate, I realized I was representing the entire Jewish people, not just myself. At that moment, I needed to take pride in my heritage and advocate for Judaism by simply expressing that I'm a Jew. In some ways, we all must face this question as we enter a world of much greater diversity than what we have experienced in our small class, and it is our responsibility to answer that question. Turns out the guy I was talking to, he's a Muslim from Bangladesh. We're both going to college in Charlottesville at the University of Virginia. A class of our size is like the center of a target. It is concentrated, yet we all have different backgrounds, beliefs, and goals. Take the next level of the target, and you've got all of CTA, as we are more diverse in age and interests. Branch out a bit more, we've got Columbus, Ohio. People of various religions, family origins, and cultures. Then you've got the college campus, which we will all experience in the near future. In these places, there are many different kinds of people, some who might show animosity towards the Jewish people. Thus, it is our duty to come out of the smaller diversity within which we've grown up and represent the Jewish people in a good light to the greater diversity of the world. This goal can be achieved by merely having a positive impact on the world. If we live by this life pillar, then our peers in college, in the workplace, and yes, even on Facebook, will see the Jewish people as a moral people, a humble people, a good people. It is our obligation to leave an imprint on the people we meet with the derech eretz we have been imbued with here at CTA and in our community. Thank you.
It is with a deep sense of pride that I address you at this podium today. I walked in these doors as a youth 13 years ago, and I'm leaving here as a mayor. Every day I spent here has not always been perfect, nor easy. It's always been a place I so proudly thought of as home. Home is a term I don't use lightly. It references a place to oneself, a place shared by those who are closest to and who you feel a common bond. That is certainly this place, Columbus Torah Academy. There are many schools in this community who argue rival the wonderful education of this great institution. The grounds, the facilities, and the resources. Though, it's not those tangibles that set CTA apart. It's the people, the teachers, the principal, and all the volunteers. They care. They're committed to our success each and every day. It is the standards they have set that has challenged us to set the lofty goals and dreams we seek to accomplish. I suppose that's what school is all about, right? Giving us the tools and desire to dream. A few weeks ago, I was just visiting Boston to visit my college and walked around the Harvard campus just out of curiosity. I visited the dorm area where Mark Zuckerberg lived in, exactly where he drew up the Facebook. Very plain, nondescript, but compelling. I felt a deep sense of place, so something happened right inside these exact walls. It gave you a sense that anything was possible as long as I could dream. My junior year of high school, I wanted to try boarding school at one of the finest schools in all of New England. It was an amazing experience I will always savor. Besides this rich academic curriculum, I was able to fulfill my desire by playing one of the best hockey schools in the nation, as well as being on the rowing team and the cross-country team. Having never participated in cross-country before, I found it was something I could enjoy competing in. You know, I knew I would come back to Columbus and finish my senior year at CTA. Unfortunately, CTA had no cross-country team, and I felt a sense of loss that I was not given the opportunity to compete. Then I thought, why not? Maybe Torah Academy would let me be their one-man cross-country team. Find me races all over the state, achieve qualifying times, and compete at nationals against our nation's 100 best runners. Dare to dream, and I did. With the help of our athletic coach, Mr. Bailey, he busily entered me in as many races as he could. The season of qualifying times, I was soon off to nationals. Thanks to Mr. Bailey, and a lot of hard work. But in the end, none of it was ever possible without the dream. This speech has been a lot about dreams. But even though I was fortunate to have a support system as wonderful as Columbus Torah Academy, it wasn't a support system in the cross-country season my senior that I attributed my achievement. It was something they instilled in me many years ago. Hashem. The feeling and confidence of knowing Hashem is with me in all that I do gives you the opportunity and the confidence to dream, to go forward with confidence, to fulfill God's will of Am Yisrael. I want to wish my fellow classmates much success in all we set out to do, and influence this world with the wonderful mitos we all have experienced at Columbus Torah Academy. Thank you for a lifetime full of memories and inspiration. to make all dreams come true. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming. I'd like to start off by thanking the many people who have worked very hard to create the outstanding scholars that we are today. Not you, Imanaba. Wait your turn. But the teachers and staff of the Columbus Torah Academy. Some think that CTA is just another school out there that teaches us only the stuff that you need to know for college. However, I view it as much more. As we leave CTA, let us try to look back and remember some of the unique and important skills we have learned at CTA and have helped us to create the unique individuals that we are today. Take lunch, for example, the most important and toughest class of the day. As we rush into Pizza Wednesday, many questions start to cross your mind. Which piece should I get? Edge or center? Singles? No doubles. Maybe triples. And if it's a good day, maybe even quadruples. As we make these life-changing decisions, we do not realize the major life experiences we are gaining. By making these very difficult choices, we begin the first steps into making your own life-changing decisions. Although, perhaps choosing what to do with our lives is a bit more significant than to get some extra strawberries with your 3 servings of pizza. Let us now move on to the 2 shortest minutes of a CTA student's life, our break between classes. While rushing to the next class, more things begin to pop into your mind. Do I have time to run to Lisa for a quick snack? For a run back in time, will I make it? And the bell rings, and you realize that you have not even reached your locker yet. For me, this is my third tardy, meaning detention. Now, some of you might wonder, what life lessons can you learn from being late to class? Well, I'll tell you. 1, always do your homework the night before. 2, you have to face the consequences, hopefully the rewards, for all your actions. The lesson in making choices has been taught to us time after time. And I've come to understand there are 3 choices. Good choices, my choices, and bad choices. With what I've been taught at CTA, I'm hoping that my choices will all be good choices. And for these choices, I'll be rewarded accordingly. So I'll end off by thanking my loving Ima and Abba and for everything they've done for me. If it was staying up late at night helping me study for a final, if it was buying my first computer, which I worked wonders from. Thank you all for coming. Have a great evening.
Soup, salad, main course, dessert. These are all general components to a meal. But when you read the recipe, there is more detail and complexity that has to go into making the perfect meal. I have learned that the thing that brings juice together best is food. Whether it is on Shabbos, a holiday, or just a snack, we always do our best to make the most delicious meal possible. This class is not an exception. We are definitely brought together through food and its preparation. The time we improvised on a cookie recipe or grilled out in the rain, we all come together and enjoy. Cooking is something in which is special to me. Growing up in a home where the entire family got in the kitchen and helped with dinner definitely helped me lock in my decision to spend the rest of my life cooking. I enjoy making others happy and seeing the look on someone's face when they try my dish I prepared. I will hopefully begin cooking professionally after I graduate college, and then someday for my own family. And like a good meal, this class is made of a cabinet full of ingredients. Athletes, techies, foodies, fashionistas, musicians, people who go with the flow, and people that plan everything. We work well together, bringing out just the right taste. We work through differences and overcome challenges and heartache together. And just like a meal, if one part is missing, something doesn't feel right, and you can tell it's off. I would like to thank Mr. Bailey for always being there for me when I needed someone to talk to, Mr. Hinder for always having something for me to clean in detention, and my mom. Even though I had struggles, she helped push me through and was always there by my side when I was in need. Taking a big bite out of life is sometimes hard, but make no mistake, the class of 2011 is hungry for the world, and maybe just one more serving of lasagna at lunch. Thank you.
Coming from another side of the world to America wasn't easy, especially Switching schools for me was like transferring to a whole new world filled with smart, purposeful, and diverse students and teachers. Everything was new and yet to be discovered. Some days were harder, some were easier, but not within the emotional support from my class. They might not have noticed, but they made me feel like I was part of their class from pre-K. I want to thank my family for giving me the opportunity to spend 3 years of my high school career at CTA. Without them, I won't be standing here. We're all from different ships, but 3 years, we are in the same boat, and now everyone has to swim in their own directions. I want to wish all of us success, love, and happiness. Not all of us will meet with each other, but the memories will stay forever. It's very hard to say goodbye, and before I do that, I want to wish all of you success, and never forget me, because I will never, ever forget you guys. Thank you so much.
Imagine for a second you are standing on a board, being pushed by the incredible force of ocean rushing behind you, skimming your hand through the wall of the wave, and not thinking about anything at all. It is just you, your board, and the wave, your minds completely at peace. Some days you can sit on your board all day, shivering in the cold ocean, just waiting for this wave, for your wave, and never catch it. Surfers pray every day for a wave such as this one, and maybe they will catch a few little waves, and maybe even a big wave, but to find your wave, the one that you have always dreamed of, can take forever. When I moved to Columbus from Boston in 8th grade, I finally caught my wave. I paddled as hard as I could, and eventually I caught it. And boy, has it been quite the ride. To catch this wave, though, was extremely difficult. In Boston, I was not the greatest student. School is not my priority, and my grades suffered. Being put into Columbus Tour Academy changed my life. I was placed into a tiny class compared to my class in Boston, and met friends that were the greatest role models to me. Because of the small size of my class, I was able to get one-on-one attention from almost all of my teachers, and they didn't give me a choice other than to work hard. My teachers truly cared about how I was doing and were always willing to talk to me and help me to succeed. Whether it was staying after school with me or talking during lunch, they were always available. The teachers are great at CTA, but we all know the quote, "It's not the school, it's what you make it the school." Every kid that I met at CTA all had this work ethic and this attitude that they needed to succeed, and that mindset quickly became my own. I believe that I got everything out of CTA I could have, and that was more than any high school student could ask for. I was able to participate in almost every sport the athletic program had to offer and loved every second of them. Yes, we are a small school, and it is difficult to compete against schools that have hundreds of kids in their school, while ours only has 60, but we did. No, we did not win every game, but we played hard and competed against every team we played, and most importantly, we had a lot of fun. Now I'm at the end of my ride, and this wave is about to reach shore, but the rush from this wave will stay with me forever. As I move on, go to yeshiva next year in Israel, and then attend Yeshiva University for college, I plan on catching another wave, even greater than this one, and continuing the success and amazing experiences I've gained here at Columbus Tour Academy. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank everyone who made this day possible, namely Hashem, my parents, my teachers, my classmates, and my friends. For thousands of years, Jews have been fighting, whatever the issue may be, big or small. Our class is no different. Whether it was about where to go for senior trip, or what the theme should be, or what we should do for senior brand, or not. We argue, we spat, we fetch, not because we hate each other, but because it brings us closer. We all come from different backgrounds and have very different philosophies and views, but nonetheless we have one thing that unites us. We are Jews. 4 years ago, when I came to CTA, I was immediately accepted, as if I had been there as long as everyone else. Since then, others have joined the class, and from what I can tell, they had the same experience. This goes to show that although each person in our class is very different, we are all open to all kinds of people. Not many people know this, but CTA wasn't my only choice for high school. Was it the right choice? I wasn't so sure at first, but now looking back, I know it was. A week after my family moved to Columbus, I was from Cincinnati. I was at home with my mother, and we got a phone call. It was my grandmother, and she was incoherent. We rushed over to her apartment and rushed her off to the hospital. After months of recovery, she was fine. And now she lives with us. The scary thing is, that new drive that was 2 minutes would have been over an hour and a half had we lived anywhere else. I would like to convey this message that I learned to all of you today. Sometimes in life you will make decisions. They might not always seem like the right one, but what we must all realize is that everything happens for a reason, no matter what we may think, and we need to find the meaning in every situation. Thank you.
When we think of the things that we cherish most in life, we quickly come down to the things that make us different in this world. Our minds wander to things such as the weird way we can recognize the sound of our mother's keys, or the strange things that make our family roar with laughter at the Seder table, and the moments when we look around and think, man, I'm surrounded by freaks. The same is true about our class. We think differently, laugh differently, talk differently, and bond differently. Some of us may be on the verge of a record deal, while others on the verge of an academic scholarship. And the rest of us are grasping tightly to our dreams. Some of us live to hear the crack of the bat, the swish of the net, or a cheering crowd, while others could live without. But still, there is another quality that sets us apart. Even though we are so varied in personality and skill, diversity never matters to us. Here in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, are the exceptions. We don't care about what extracurricular you to partake in, how fast you are able to answer every multiple choice, or if you are the Lone Ranger. If you are in our grade and on our locker list at the beginning of the year, then you are a part of us. Automatically, we accept you no matter what. This is not to say we don't fight. When 3:15 rolls around every day, we might be at each other's throats, but in the long run, the yelling is what makes us closer, creates jokes and laughter, and illuminates togetherness. We can talk about how diverse we are, but in the end, no one gives two hoots about it. Being diverse is what makes our class the one entity it really is. 4 years ago, we were a puzzle. Some of us made up the sailboat in the picture, and some of us made up the sand. But when we fit the last piece into the middle of the puzzle, took a deep breath, and stepped back, we saw the entire picture. Tonight, we have finished the puzzle. Tonight, we are admiring the finished product, and tonight, we will take each piece apart and put it back in the box. Although we will not be connected, we will still be in this box, in this world, together.
On the surface, baseball may appear to lack intrinsic value. Upon further evaluation, greater meaning is not merely evident in the sport, but one and the same. First off, the tradition of the game is ever present. We Jews love tradition, and therefore we are attracted to baseball, the oldest among the big three professional sports in America. Sure, the ball is packed tighter and the mound is raised, but the essence of the game has remained unchanged since the 19th century. Baseball is also cerebral, a thinking man's game. As Yogi Berra once said, 90% of the game is half mental. Players must constantly be aware and conscious of all possibilities. At any instant in a baseball game, there are virtually infinite possible outcomes. So too in life, one must be aware of their surroundings and prepared for anything. In order to excel in sports, one must possess characteristics which are applicable in daily life. Good teammates are good friends, supporting their teammates in dire circumstances. Batters must have patience, waiting for the perfect pitch to hit into their horizon. Outfielders must have focus and be ready for any ball to fly into their zone. Most of all, CTA baseball has instilled with me the value of commitment. Each position on the team has unique aspects, but the one underlying trait that each and every player needs is commitment to the team as a whole. Selfishness has no home in sports, just like in life. Every action by a great player is only for the good of the team. After next year in Israel, I will continue my studies at Yeshiva University. In addition to the Orthodox Jewish community, the school attracted me for the lure of playing collegiate baseball. I had started on the CTA varsity team since 8th grade,
and I feel well prepared for the challenge. While this YU baseball program is not elite, the mere chance to play 4 more years pulled me in. Baseball has taught me essential life skills and helped mold me into the person I am today. In the end, the sport even attracted me to a religious environment for college, and I will continue to implement the values baseball and CTA have taught me. Thank you.
Years ago, I walked into this school, looking around at each person, noticing the similarities in everyone. 5 years old and 4 feet tall. As the years went on, everyone started to develop their own differences. Even the new kids who showed up over the years quickly joined in easily in our class and showed their own diversity from everyone. For 13 years, I've been a part of this class, looking at it from the inside and outside, and I still don't know how we all seem to manage to get along with one another. It amazes me to see all of us here today, not as 15 individuals, but as one class and one group of very different young adults who still manage to get along with one another, even with little similarities. But as they say, differences attract one another. We grow neither better nor worse as we get old, but more like ourselves. This quote goes perfectly with my class of 2011. Each of us is similar in many ways, but we all have many differences than similarities, which make us who we are. We all have different favorite foods, sports, and favorite hobbies and all. But the differences that we have make us who we are and make the bond we share with each other for the past years of high school. I'd like to share one last thing with my graduating class. In this day and age, some turn 18 and think they're a man or a woman. And that's it. But that's just not true. You have to establish your manhood or your womanhood with actions. And the actions you take from here on out for the rest of your life will define you for who you are. Congratulations to everyone for graduating. And I hope the actions you take continue to define you as the people with the potential you have to be. Thank you.
Growing up, we are told to fit in. So wear these clothes, wear those subjects, pray at that time. We are molded to what our environment wants us to be. Whenever with other kids, we compare ourselves. We imitate, hoping to fit in and be accepted. However, as the years passed, something happened. Our individuality developed. We've begun to understand who we are in the process of becoming. Throughout the timeline from elementary school to high school, we have all experienced different teachers, various levels of courses, and beginnings and ends to several friendships. Besides from occurrences within school, each one of us has gone through personal challenges, family issues, and typical protocol of getting older. Each event and change shaping the individual we will be in the future. High school is a time of teenage angst, turmoil, and immaturity. We are expected to try and fail until we succeed. We are expected to be indecisive and take the course of 4 years to decide where we want to go. Herein lays the problem. We are in the midst of a paradox. The younger years of our lives are filled with rules and pressures to do the right thing. We are told to not eat frosted flakes, don't go to bed past 9 o'clock, and eat your veggies. But our teenage years are embedded with the knowledge that we are supposed to break the rules and think outside the box, to experiment and discover. This is the time when we are supposed to find out who we are. We are given leeway to take the wrong routes in doing so. In CTA, things are done a little differently. We carry an identity previously ingrained within us, Judaism. A sense of maturity is innate due to our strong background. We have knowledge about what defines us more than the average person at this age. Nevertheless, the paradox is still evident. We are unsure of which expectation to stay true to. But I think my class has chosen. We embrace the opportunities to try and fail. We pave our own pathways and don't think twice about disappointing anyone. A handful of us will be going to Israel next year, while others attend college in Columbus, Boston, Virginia, and Hocking Hills. We chose the paths not because our siblings did it before us, but because these are the places we think can facilitate our growth the best. At this moment, our search for the answer to the universal paradox has been completed.
What would I be like if I hadn't come to Columbus Tour Academy that fall way back in 4th grade? No one can give a definitive answer to such a hypothetical question. No one can tell what sort of life events might have occurred to me in this alternate life. I may have become a powerful demon and started the 3rd season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. before coming to CTA, I wasn't very much interested in my heritage. How that happened, my poor parents, both of them rabbis, are just not sure. Once I got to CTA, though, I, a small kid who hadn't been very good at making friends, began to warm up to my classmates, and eventually, through a combination of friendship, good teachers, and constantly going to defend Israel on Shabbos, began to warm up to my religion, which is now an inseparable part of my person, my guiding light, and what drives me to willingly go to services on Shabbat, participate in Jewish youth activities, and work to advance the cause of the Jewish community. I also know that I've had an influence on Columbus Torah Academy. After all, I can imagine how this school would be like if it hadn't met this whirlwind maniac 9 years ago. First off, I'm pretty sure the school would be a bit less well-read and informed, seeing as the newspaper, the busted server, would never have been founded. And then the students would have a leaner palate, seeing as I've been lobbying for vegetarian cuisine in this school for, what has it been? The past 3 years? We're just only seeing results. I blame the administration for that problem. A lot of teachers say that this school won't be the same once I leave it. I say it wouldn't ever be the same once I came to Columbus Torah Academy. Whoever you are, whatever you are made of, Columbus Torah Academy has an effect on you the moment you walk through the door. And I'm not just talking about how hungry you get smelling the pizza cooking. I can now finally say that I'm proud to be an alum of this institution and to have had my person changed by it. My essence as a person was enriched by the many years of studying this school, and nothing in the world could make me give up that part of my person. I'd like to thank all of you for coming here today, and I better sit down before that ninja over there tries to pick a fight with me.
I have only been here for 3 years, but in that short duration, I have accomplished so much. Who would have thought that transferring in high school would have been a good decision? A move that would be responsible for shaping me into the person I am today. Maybe I would have grown the same way without the move. Or maybe the school is to take the credit. Or my parents. Maybe my synagogue or my youth group, or possibly the school lunches. But I have my own answer. My peers. These bright kids introduced me to all the above and more. In their uniqueness and individuality, I was able to learn and fit in as an addition to the diverse class of 2011. Yet we still stand here today on common ground, garbed in the same cloak, wearing identical hats, and expressing the same excitement. CTA stands as a physical bond between each and every one of us. We are all Jewish, and that is something that will weld us despite the diversity. Like a family, whichever journey is taken, and no matter how far apart we travel, we will always have a permanent link and relationship to look back upon. I remember a little more than 3 years ago, I was asking my parents about the new school I would be going to. They came over and said, "Oh, I wouldn't believe how big my grade is, and they're not sure I was ready for such an enormous school." I got worried that I would disappear into the large numbers of such a large and humongous place, and I timidly asked how big my high school was. With a smirk on their faces, they replied that there was roughly 60 kids altogether. My parents meant this as a prank, and I was badly fooled too. But looking back now, I see a second meaning. This huge school is not so by its numbers, but in its potential and greatness. It's quality, not quantity. And by just looking around, anyone can see the multitudes around us. Today, I leave. But I can assure you all that I will take the alum status and wear it proudly so that people will see the greatness that comes from this institution, this school, this home. Thank you.
Diversity, our theme. The thing I have to discuss this afternoon in regards to my class and me. If one was looking at the Columbus Tour Academy from an outside perspective, perhaps the last descriptor they would probably think about is diversity. They would see a small private school filled with strictly Jewish kids. And they'd be correct in a sense. Though this statement is true, we are small and entirely Jewish, it can very easily cause an observer to jump to other conclusions, other very false conclusions, such as these kids don't socialize with any other types of people, or these kids all come from a similar background. These kids remain so isolated from the rest of the world. These kids don't interact and accept others who aren't like them. However, as the anticipation for summer grows and the responsibility of adulthood is upon us, graduation is a time for a closer look. We come from different social classes, we're born in different places, different countries, have different religious affiliations, different skin colors, different sexual preferences, different talents, different views and opinions, and even different hair colors. This class is incredibly diverse, and yet we remain glued together because of one single characteristic that we all possess: our Judaism. If it wasn't for our Jewish blessing, we would most likely have never met one another, let alone even acknowledged one another because of our immense differences. If we weren't Jewish, we would have had our schooling completed somewhere else. For instance, if we were in the typical public school setting, where the class sizes are much larger than those of CTA, we would have gravitated towards people similar to ourselves because of the large selection of students. Instead, our small grade here at Torah Academy has fortunately required us to accept our differences. This close-knit community has instilled in us the rare ability to interact with all types of people and shown us that differences make life interesting. It's a little scary that we are this different, but as I said, our differences make us stronger. Our differences are the key to leadership and problem solving. Our unique personalities have enabled us to learn about one another and see a variety of situations from 15 different perspectives. Here at CTA throughout the years, we have seen it all. And consequently, with the help of our amazing mentors and teachers, we have learned to accept all and utilize our individualities, enabling us to approach different challenges and/or circumstances in more mature and thought-out ways. Therefore, while we, my classmates and I, will continue down our diverse paths in Israel or college and all our other future endeavors, we have been instilled with this special ability that I hope has become recognizable and appreciated: the ability to enjoy and embrace diversity. It is the essence of life and what has made our time here so memorable. Thank you guys. I'll miss you all going crazy. And thank you to my family and everyone else for being here with us.
Everything was quiet. The water, which reflected the red and orange shades of the sunset, was still. I felt the brisk shoreline breeze move quickly through the air. Bugs swarmed over the water like dust caught in a sunbeam. The moment was tranquil and complete that evening at Putnam Bay, and our class was there to experience it. Despite our differences and our different backgrounds, we were able to share that moment together as a unified group, family. It's hard to say goodbye to someone, but I believe it's even harder to say goodbye to a group that's become so connected and so close over the years. The inevitable is clear. We will disband and go our separate individual ways. This ceremony marks the end of our high school careers, the end of something that has become so familiar and so heartening. We will move on to do great and wonderful things, each of us succeeding in whatever we choose to do. But when it comes time, years from now, to look back on our lives as high schoolers, what will we remember? Will we remember the grades we achieved? Will we remember the awards we won? Will we remember our GPA or SAT scores? No. We will look back on the things we did together as a collective class, not our personal achievements. We will remember the time we went snowboarding in the amphitheater behind the library. We will remember the day we were all sick and went bowling. We will remember the breathtaking sunset from our senior trip. Our class experiences are the ones that will stick with us for the rest of our lives. Our class is filled with diversity. That's indisputable. We have musicians, chefs, soccer players, film editors, track stars, writers, surfers, and so much more. Sometimes it seems we're too diverse to ever be categorized together. What would an avid baseball fan and player ever have to discuss with a four-eyed poetry-reading nerd like myself? In a regular school, probably nothing. But in our school, which is so much more than regular, we have the world to discuss. I can personally attest to that, because Sam and I have had many conversations about both poetry and baseball. There's a trait that my classmates and I share, which is undoubtedly the strongest and most meaningful connection we have with one another, and which keeps us unified despite our differences. We are all members of the Jewish people, and this truth unites us in a way that can never be lost, no matter what our interests are or where we end up. Whether we find ourselves learning on a college campus or in Israel next year, we are all Jews, and we will always share our common heritage. Our class may be filled with different types of people, but our unified faith and upbringing keeps us close together. As the sun set over Putin Bay, we cast out our lines and sat with our feet in the water, fishing. We enjoyed the cool air, the spectacular sunset, and each other's company. Perhaps the sunset represents the end of something great. Our high school careers, our adolescence, our years free from responsibility. When this ceremony comes to a close, like the sun disappearing over the horizon, we will truly have finished a chapter of our lives. However, I will remember that night and that sunset for the rest of my life, more so than any construction paper geometrical dodecahedron I may have made for math class. Or any poem about blackberries or blueberries or raspberries I may have written for English class. Or even more than this speech. I will remember that moment because it was shared with my classmates, and they are the ones that have made my high school experience worthwhile. Henry David Thoreau once contemplated over fishing and concluded that many men go fishing their whole lives without realizing that it's not fish that they're after. In other words, we often lose view of what is important by focusing too hard on the less important. Today, we will graduate high school, receive our diplomas, and move on to the real world. Some of us have roamed these halls for 13 years. Others have only been here for 3. However, the bonds we have created and the friendships we have made over the years are what is truly important. And that is something we're all after. Thank you.
To tear up and cry with them a little bit, to feel so proud of them, but also to be so inspired by them. I think all of us know that if the future is in the hands of young men and women like this, then thank God the future is secure. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating the entire class of 2001. When students graduate from high school, it's very easy to forget about the fact or to not notice the fact that for many, many years, people have been involved in teaching them, organizing their classes, ordering textbooks, working out their schedule, studying the curriculum, doing all kinds of things to make sure that the students are successful. At this moment, it is my pleasure to honor someone who has spent 33 years at Columbus Torah Academy, devoting every waking moment, and I think probably many sleeping moments, to dealing with every issue imaginable, with grace, with wisdom, with understanding, and with tremendous expertise. Please join me in thanking Mrs. Marcia Hirschfield. distinguished members of our administrative team to award the diplomas, Mrs. Galit Golan, the Director of Hebrew Language and Israel Studies, and Mr. Troy Hinder, Dean of Students. Please come forward for the presentation of diplomas. Tal Benatar. Milana Bogina. Zachary Joseph Ebner. Hillary Shayna Hawksworth. Nitzan Levy. Elon Levine. Shoshana Freda Menage. Michael Jacob Osborne. Jacob Grubb. I'm sorry, Jacob didn't graduate high school just yet. Jordan Grubb. Daniel Lebowitz. Cyril Polster. Aaron Gabriel Portman. Samuel Rosenstein. Griffin Erica. Just testing those shoes. Griffin Erica Schroeder. I tried those on during rehearsal and I was not able to get around. Ephraim Avram Rami. Before I continue, I want to apologize both to Jordan and to Danny. Their names are here on the list, and I apologize to them. You gentlemen are both incredibly treasured members of the class, and I'm sorry for my mistake. In 2010, for the first time, CTA High School became a member of the National Honor Society, cum laude. Eliza Delman, our guidance counselor and advisor to the society, as well as Steve Guinan, upper school language arts and social studies teacher, will now induct the 2011 members. Thank you. As Rabbi Khan said, 2 years ago, we welcomed the Cum Laude Society to Torah Academy, and this year, I'm proud to stand here tonight and induct from the class of 2011, the third group of members from Columbus Torah Academy. Founded in 1906 to recognize academic achievement in secondary schools, the Cum Laude Society seeks to promote learning and sound scholarship. The distinguished record you have made at CTA has won us this membership in the society. It is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. As you all pursue your education, it is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership in the society as a responsibility to make a contribution to the ongoing search for greater understanding of humanity and society.
The motto of the society is excellence, justice, and honor. The CTA chapter of the Cum Laude Society, excellence is referred to in the moral sense and is not limited to the ideals of superiority and scholarship, nor does it involve the endeavor of competing primarily for academic goals. Justice is meant to include the concept of what is suitable and appropriate. Honor includes the concept of dignity and truth.
The CTA chapter of the Cum Laude Society boasts the following CTA alumni: Leah Epstein, Jacob Portman, Mimi Wilhelm, Tehila Wenger, Emily Sobel, and Hannah Schramm. If any of you are here this afternoon, please stand while this year's members' names are read in testimony of your admission to the Cum Laude Society by the authority of the society duly granted. We now present you these certificates and pins of membership. We would like to invite the parents to the bima to share in this recognition with the inductees this afternoon.
Aaron Portman. And Sam Rosenstein. We would also like to announce the Cum Laude designees for the 2011-12 school year. Understandably, the final decision of who will be inducted next June will be based on grade point averages through the end of next year. However, these designees may indicate their Cum Laude designee status on college applications next fall. If you're here, please stand when you hear your name called. Josh Blau. Emily Chase. Noah Portman. And Keenan Sobel. Mr. Guinan, Dr. Kennedy, Mrs. Morris, and I represent the faculty of the Cum Laude chapter. When we met about next year's names, I have to tell you, next year's class is incredibly close. A few names were not read, but they are only hundredths of a point away. So, next year, seniors, keep your heads up next year. Don't let senioritis get you down, because it's going to be very close.
Two years ago, Marcia Hirschfield let it be known that the time of her retirement was coming closer and approaching. And this is the year, as I mentioned a few moments ago, that Marcia will be retiring from the school at the end of this school year. At that time, we began a search to do the very difficult job of finding a new upper school principal to lead Columbus Torah Academy into the future. After an extensive and comprehensive search, we realized that within our school, within these walls, we had an excellent candidate who had tremendous experience dealing with students and parents, with educational issues, with teachers, a person who was caring, committed to detail, conscientious, and someone who makes excellence a daily endeavor. It is my true pleasure to present to you today the new principal of Columbus Torah Academy Upper School, Mrs. Eliza Dillon. Today we are privileged to have a very special keynote speaker. Ohio State Representative Nancy Garland is here to deliver the keynote address. Representative Garland serves the 20th Ohio House District, which includes Bexley, Gahanna, New Albany, Whitehall, and other parts of Columbus. After graduating from Ohio State with a bachelor's degree in history and government, Representative Garland attended George Mason School of Law, where she earned a Juris Doctorate while she worked on Capitol Hill. Currently, she teaches health policy in the physical therapy doctoral program at The Ohio State University School of Allied Medical Professions. She is the former executive director of the Ohio Physical Therapy Association, a role she held for 6 years. Representative Garland's legislative interests include healthcare coverage, fixing the education system, and bringing green jobs and technology to Ohio and to Franklin County. Most importantly, she has been a true and good friend to Columbus Torah Academy. It is a very distinct privilege and honor to welcome Representative Nancy Garland.
Thank you, and I am very, very happy to be here today, but I have to say, after this class, this is a really hard act to follow. I do know that we definitely have some budding politicians. I want to talk to them afterwards, see if I can get them to think about, running for office. I'm not going to be around forever. So, again, just an amazing group of students. And I feel kind of strange here because I'm supposed to be talking to them, but they're behind me, so I hope that you can stick with me here. But good afternoon, honored graduates, parents, family members, friends, faculty, and administrators, and new principal. Congratulations. And I want to thank you for letting me be a part of this momentous occasion, because I am just totally honored to be here today. But someone I think that we've heard of before, Abraham Lincoln, said, a man who knew more about momentous days than most of us, I would say. He said, the best thing about the future is that it only comes one day at a time. And this is one of those days that represents a major step towards the bright and promising future that all of you possess. And after hearing you, I just can't believe what you're going to accomplish. Now, I know that really what you want to do is get out. You want to go to your parties, you want to visit with your friends and everything. So, if you'll just do me a favor, your job right now is to listen to me. And my job is to talk to you. So, if you get finished before I do, just let me know. And Rami, no. But seriously, we are here today to celebrate a commencement, which means beginning, not end. Though it will be the end of your spending most of your time with your classmates, with your teachers, in this building. And Aaron, I just thought your talk about all the time you spent together is what you will definitely remember. Because I remember graduating from high school. It was a long time ago, but I actually do remember it. And I just thought I was going to die. because I was going, and the girls will understand this more than the boys. You know, the boys are cool and everything. But those relationships just mean so much because you spent not just high school, many of you first kindergarten with each other. So you spent your time with your best buds, and that's the way I felt. But guess what? I didn't die. I made it through, and I know you all will too. But you leave the protection of CTA and you go on to colleges and universities and jobs all around the world. I just am amazed at the things that you're going to be doing. And in fact, I read the other day that this year's graduates are the most supervised generation in American history. Because, of course, we have the connectedness of technology, so we're in contact all the time. And then, I'm sure there's none of these people out there, we have what's known as the helicopter parents. I know, I was one of them. So, I get it. So, but now you're going to be off on your own. The other thing is, it used to be, when I was in college, and I know this is hard to believe, that we actually wrote letters to our parents. We, like once a week, I would sit down and write my parents. We didn't talk on the phone. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't text each other and everything. And if I was lucky, maybe every couple of weeks, we could actually afford to have a long-distance phone call. So your lives are so much different in that respect. But you are going off, and you're going to be on your own, hopefully making those right decisions. And I went through the list, and we have 4 going to Israel and 3 going to Ohio State, 1 to Columbus State, UVA. I'm really jealous of you. I don't know. Are you real close to TJ?
I like TJ.
I know. TJ and I like this. I just love Thomas Jefferson, in case you didn't know. Bowling Green, Curry College, Union College, New York Toro College of Women, and Griffin. You've already started your own business. I haven't done, so maybe we could talk about it. And several going into pre-med, artistic students in film, writing, music. Obviously, we have some foodies here. A very diverse group, and I also noticed very individualistic. Now, I understand that there was a memo that went out and said for the girls to wear black medium pumps. Well, obviously, several people didn't get the memo. I won't mention who it is. And then somebody thinks he might have been Ludwig Beethoven. I don't know. I wonder who that was. But today, you have fulfilled another significant step in your life's journey. All of us here today, your family, your friends, your teachers, administrators, look at you with great pride. And you've worked very hard to get to this place, and they have supported you through both good times and bad times. So, I'd like the class just to jointly say thank you to all of you. Thank you. Of course, Riley says and it's amazing how I feel like I know this class and I've only gotten to know them, in the last hour and a half. But I know the promise of your young lives and the pride you must feel in this accomplishment today. But let us build on what we've already done. Your ideas and motivations will fuel your community, our state, our country, and even our world in the days and years to come. By your involvement, we can be ensured that our democratic system continues to benefit the shared aims of many, rather than the interest of a few. And I think involvement is particularly important for those of you in this room, as I know how important a safe and secure Israel is for you. But this needs to be important for all Americans, not just Jews, even Episcopalians like me. We need to be committed to support for Israel, and hopefully by the time you students at this graduation are parents sitting in this room, watching with pride as your children graduate. Israel will have secured an even stronger support from the world and overcome its enemies. So as you contemplate your future, I hope that the debates of today stir your passions to get involved. And continuing on this theme of involvement, I know that there are two concepts that are very important to the Jewish culture: justice and charity. It is a beautiful concept in Judaism that each person is required to pursue justice, and in doing so, each person must contribute to charity. So following along this theme of justice and charity, I know you will do things that we can't imagine to make the world a better place. However, I can't promise that the path will be easy. And I think of two particular individuals that I've seen and read about recently. And one is an 84-year-old Kenyan man who took advantage of his government's offer to a free education and enrolled in the first grade at age 84. He said, "Whatever we try in life, we cannot fail if we have that determination." He had that determination, and I'm sure you have that determination. There's another person that had a great determination, and she recently retired from her TV show of 25 years. I think you might have heard of her. Oprah Winfrey. Yeah. Well, Oprah was a girl from a small town in Mississippi. She overcame tremendous obstacles to become one of the richest people in the world. She was sexually abused as a child, did not have an easy life, and now she, again, is one of the richest people in the world. But the money's not the important thing. It's what she did with the money. And to get ready for this talk, I actually watched the Goodbye Show for Oprah. I knew it would be important. But really, she, in terms of the thank yous from people, there were 64,688 people that went on to school because of her. And she has provided tremendous support to Moorhead College for young African boys. And many of these people are on the show, and they're heads of companies, and they're on Wall Street and everything. And they were successful because of the support that she had given them. And also the schools that she's built in Africa for girls to be able to go to school that they would not have been able to go to school for that. So the Jewish community is renowned for its charity. There are so many examples of Jews who have been so charitable and have done so much for their communities that I didn't even want to single out one person, because I know on a daily basis what goes on in my district in terms of what people are doing. But I'm sure that you all are going to carry on that tradition. But I think that these concepts of justice and charity are so important today. We need to be kind to one another. We need to help each other. Most of us, let's admit it, are egotistical and self-centered most of the time. Many graduation speeches today will actually center on find yourself. But I'm going to tell you the opposite. The purpose of life is not to find yourself, but to lose yourself. If you can find that thing or things that you do really well and use those things to help others, I think your life will be much more meaningful. Studies have shown that people who volunteer, who get involved in helping others are happier, they're healthier. So please, as you're going forward in this exciting new adventure, please remember doing something for the greater good. And there's a famous poem or prayer that I think kind of sums it up well. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfishness, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. What you spend years creating, others destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous, but be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. And give the best you have, and you will never be enough. Give your best anyway. But one last kernel of advice, and I think you already got it. I was going, and you started out with Facebook today, and I was looking at my son's Facebook page the other day, and this is the quote he had about himself. He says, "I'm just trying to have a great time." So I would say to you, because my theory in life is if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. I know things can't always be fun, but don't take things too seriously. Laugh often and enjoy life. So let me be the first to welcome you to life after high school. Congratulations on your graduation. Congratulations on the successful culmination of your hard work and determination. And congratulations to beginning the next step of your journey. I wish you all luck and happiness in your future endeavors. Mazel tov.
Representative Garland. On behalf of her classmates, Hillary Hawksworth will now present the class gift to the school, and Kim Binsky, PTO President, is here to receive the gift as well as to present gifts to the graduates. Kim, please come on.
I would like to present to the school on behalf of the class of 2011 a projector for the art room and a butterfly feeder for the garden. We hope this will enrich the progress of our art department as well as provide a butterfly or two, a nice cold drink on a summer day.
I too have a present for the class of 2011. And, I really like diversity. You probably all know that about me already, because I think that without diversity, life would be boring. And one thing I can say about this class, they're not boring. I was so blessed to be able to be in the library, was it, when they were having their pictures taken for the school year. All the kids were coming in class by class. And these guys came in. They had so much fun, I didn't want to leave. I stopped by to volunteer to help with some of the time. My time was up. I couldn't leave. I was taking pictures of them, posting them on Facebook. So I want to thank all of you. You're great, not kids anymore. They are young adults. And it's really, really, really a pleasure to know them. So PTO and Cupcake Lady have picked out a little something. I know I've got my back to you. I'm sorry. Picked out something, a little token, just to remind you of the fabulous Jewish foundation that CTA has instilled in you. So I wish you all well, and hope to see you very soon back here, back with the don't forget to say hi.
weeks ago, it was decided, it was determined that myself and Morris Madar Melmid, who is here today with us, of course, would be the chaperones on the senior trip this year. And after that announcement was made, I noticed something very interesting. The ways that the teachers reacted to us when they passed us in the hallway or saw us in the teacher's lounge changed dramatically. Some teachers would walk by, and after we would pass by, they would laugh. And I thought to myself, what did I wear the wrong tie, or what happened? Why are people kind of giggling as I go by? Other teachers would come, and as soon as they would see me or Morris Madar, just the look of the most profound pity would cross on their faces. And I also thought to myself, what happened? What's so terrible? And so finally it became so noticeable that I asked someone, what's the deal? And they explained to me that going on the senior trip with the seniors in some years is a little bit akin to being kind of a sacrificial lamb. So I became concerned. But the truth is, it was a tremendous, tremendous pleasure for both Morris Madar and myself to go on the trip. And we were able to see the seniors in a different light, kind of in a natural habitat. They were as relaxed as they could be. They were as sharing and as comfortable as they possibly could have been. And I will really treasure the memories of being with them on that trip, getting to know them a little bit in a very personal way, and coming to appreciate their very special qualities in a deeper way than I had before. I really only have one message to share with the senior class before we have you flip your tassels and send you off into the world. And that is that many times, older people, ourselves, tell younger people all of the things that they should be grateful for and that they need to do and should do, and all of the things that will help make their lives better and enrich their lives. I think the truth of the matter is that it is we who need these younger people, these young men and women who we're so proud of today, to make contributions to the Jewish people and to humanity as a whole. So my message to you would be, don't worry so much about the things that people tell you need to do, but help us and do the things that we need for you to do. The Jewish people needs ambassadors, young men and women like yourselves, educated and proud and diverse, to represent us in such a positive light. And the world needs people who are idealistic and proud of their heritage and want to make the world a better place. So in some ways more than you need us, we need you. Mazel tov and congratulations. Our commencement ceremony will conclude with a final reading from Psalms from Sefer Tehillim by Rabbi Unger. Please remain seated after the reading during the graduates' recessional, after which you are cordially invited to a dessert reception in the old gym. Rabbi Unger.
Lamatzer Binginot Mizmor Shir Elohim Yachananenu V'Yivarchenu Ya'er Panav Itanu Sela Ladat Ba'aretz Darkecha B'chol Goyim Yishuatecha Yoducha Amin Elohim Yoducha Amin Kulam Yismechu V'Rananu Le'umim Ki Tishpot Amin Miyosher Ulumim Ba'aretz Tinachem Sela Yoducha Amin Elohim Yoducha Amin Kulam Eretz Natna Yehulah Yivarchenu Elohim Eloheinu Yivarchenu Elohim Viru Oto Kol Afsei Aretz. Psalm 67. For the leader with instrumental music, a psalm, a song. May God be gracious to us and bless us. May God show us favor. That your way be known on earth, your deliverance among all nations. Peoples will praise you, O God. All peoples will praise you. Nations will exult and shout for joy. For you rule the peoples with equity. You guide the nations of the earth. The peoples will praise you, O God. All peoples will praise you. May the earth yield its produce. May God, our God, bless us. May God bless us and be revered to the ends of the earth.
Graduates, please rise. Please flip your tassels.